So here we are entering Dinosaur National Monument. You know, when you're coming in on 14, it's very interesting because you go through, let's see, how's this work? Okay, you're in Colorado. And I know people talk about the whole Borders issue in the Borders, the bookstore, and then people saying it's there's reference to Borders. You know, they think Borders have a lot to do with it. When you come in off of 40, you are in Colorado, and you go into the Dinosaur National Monument Road. I forget what the name of the road is. Then you go into Utah when you're driving up to here. Then you go back into Colorado. The actual park area is very restricted along the road and stuff. So it's a lot of private land. And so we now finally, that previous footage, of course, we were still in Colorado, I think public land. And now we're in the park itself. And I was down here yesterday, and I guess those things I saw previously, I saw them of course yesterday, but I had been looking at videos of Dinosaur Monument. It wasn't Google Earth, it was Dinosaur Monument, and that is when I saw these huge dips, and I went through a couple of them yesterday. Of course, it all depends on the water levels. But they all have, well anyway, enough for now. Yeah, I don't know, folks. The Echo Park contingent, and I know there are a number of them because I've read their blogs, who have been down here and looked at the petroglyphs and looked at various areas around here. You've got, what is it, Steamboat Rock or something? You got Lily Gantry something. Well, you'll see it when we get down there. It's absolutely gorgeous country, but I don't know. But you could see, that's what it all gets. Again, so much of this hunt is subjective. A lot of people are looking at this saying, I would never drive a sedan down here. You know, forget it. I mean, even just right here, this, you know, in a sedan, it would be it's not terrible, but you know, certainly much more convenient in an SUV. And you know, I'm sure a lot of people are discounting Echo Park as being that Forrest ever drove down there. It does look a little bit crazy, but doable. I know I'm repeating myself, but I mean, in other words, if someone told me there was a couple of million down here and they gave me a, you know, an Altima to get down here, just what I drive normally, I'd be down here in an Altima, and I think I'd make it in my car. I got that car is a nice little car. It would make this, but it would be very slow driving, getting through all this crap. Very slow. Never said it wasn't slow drive. Never ever discussed the drive as far as I'm concerned. About where he stopped and got out. Did he? No, I don't think that's funny. I don't think Fenn has ever discussed. He's talked about he parked in a single spot, or there was like only room for one spot to park. He's talked about, you know, that he was driving a sedan. But I don't, and we all know about walking in and out of the woods, or whatever you want to call it, twice in an afternoon, but I don't think Fenn has ever really discussed, probably didn't want to discuss, the drive to wherever he went. Wow. This is the kind of stuff you run into on this Echo Park Road. Obviously, water's gone through here. Again, a sedan? Technically, yeah. I know I could get through this. I know that this, I've seen the worst of this road yesterday, and I know I could drive down here in my Altima. I mean, you've got some ruts, definitely. You got to take them slow. And you've got some real deep dips, but just take it slow. You can do it in a sedan. I'm pretty convinced, yeah. I think there's a couple of watersheds coming up. I remember. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, this guy was a bad one. This is a bad one. Not something I'd really want to hit in a sedan, but again, just take it slow. I mean, this REV, this Toyota, it's not, you know, a four-wheeler, is it? I don't know if it is. I don't think it is. It's maybe a little higher wheelbase, but not tremendously higher than your average sedan, I don't think, or average two-door coupe, I don't think, four-door. God, look at those boulders right just sitting on tops of those. Isn't that cool? They've all looks like they're just all balanced up there on those shelves. That's cool. Wow. Like I said, nothing in my life would have ever had me out in this kind of country for any reason, except for Forrest Fenn. And his ooh, yeah, this is a bad one. Okay, this is a bad one. But again, you just gotta, you know, use common sense, get as far away from those rocks and that rut as possible. And I don't know, though. I can see how people are starting to go, nah, he didn't drive down here in a sedan. Of course, who knows the condition of these roads 8-9 years ago, too. That's a lot of erosion. It's telling to me that they haven't come down here and filled that in with gravel or something. I think their attitude is probably, I mean, as if I have a clue. But I would think the park would just, you know, if the people that can get down here get down, well, then on the other hand, they can get people stuck, and then they have to deal with it. I don't know. I have no idea. What am I talking about? Here's another potentially tough one for some cars. Yeah. Yipper. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty friggin' cool. The petroglyphs, I thought from looking at the petroglyphs on Google Earth that the petroglyphs were down in the campground. Come to find, the petroglyphs are before you, well, at least the path to go to the petroglyphs is before you even hit the campground. Ooh, shit. You come along here and you run across the Chew Ranch. It's kind of funny to think of it as a ranch, but I guess for them it was. Kind of a nice little place to have your stuff. Well, if you want to watch that, just pause your YouTube and read it. And basically, they had a nice little, look at the size of that house. Jesus, Benezus. Jeez, my knees are aching. Another house. What a place to live. I mean, what a place to live. Everything's so small. But on the other hand, when you think of the snow and stuff, nice to have a little sturdy, rugged cabin that can put up with the heavy snow on it and stuff. Getting fairly near the campground now. Yesterday when I was here, I was just doing a scouting run. Figured some things out that I had to figure out for the hunt today. Excuse me. Today is Sunday, yesterday's Saturday, so I would say there were maybe 10 campers, tents or RVs or, SUVs with tents on or tarps on them and stuff. 10 to 15 people maybe in all, which I thought for May was pretty good. Meaning I would have thought maybe there'd be less, but so they, in the summer it must really be something.